Good morning. I'm Malcolm Nance, and this is Black Man Spy. Welcome to the Black Man Spy U.S. Iran versus the world cast. That's because now we are shifting back into geopolitics on day 83 of the U.S. Iran war. As you know, according to the Geneva Convention, that any combat or conflict from one side, even if the other side doesn't recognize it, constitutes a war. And at that time, the Geneva Conventions kicks in. That occurred at 12 noon, Tehran, Iran time on 28 February. And that is where we are keeping our count from. We are not keeping the count from the White House that decided the war started 4 days later when they notified Congress and played this numbers game. So that's why you are watching the Warcast. Let me introduce our co-panelist. Jacob Kaarsbo, Danish intelligence officer and Middle East expert extraordinaire coming from Copenhagen, and Wajeeh, the gay lion, Saudi geopolitical and Gulf states analyst, coming from Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is where we all want to be at this point. And I am reporting to you from upstate New York, but only for a little while, because as we all discussed yesterday, and we had a lot of votes on this, I took a vote on Substack, and I will put up a new chat, by the way, on Substack. Now, I said, how many of you want me to go to Greenland to go clarify and be there for the protests, if there's protests, and the opening of the new U.S. consulate, which is opening in downtown Nook? I'm going to show you pictures of that. Jacob and I been there, hung out around there, looked in the windows. It is a 32,000 square foot, two-story building with a car park underneath it dedicated to that building alone, which has enough office space. If you were to give everyone their own solid cubicle, there would be enough office space for 100 staff. The American consulate right now composes of the consular officer and 2 local staff that work for them. They don't even have the USAID officer that they fired last year in the Doge cuts. They don't even have that person there. So the poor consular officer doesn't even have an assistant, but is expected to move from an adequately sized 245 square foot hut, which we have both enjoyed doing gang signs. When I go to Nook, I do gang signs in front of that, right? And that was an appropriately sized building with 4 car parks. Now, if they are moving to a 100-person building, the largest office space for a single entity in that country. And people, when we were there, referred to it as the occupation headquarters.
Hear me out. The guy needs a mansion. Come on.
He needs a ballroom. It's
Yeah,
appropriate
come
for a
on. He needs the
ballroom.
ballroom.
He can have his ballroom in Nook.
Yeah, give him a chance. He's inviting his friends over to come and lobby for the U.S.
Okay, so that being said, I will be doing this show every day, same time. It's just that I will be reporting from Nook, Greenland. Jacob will still be in Denmark, and Wajeeh will be holding down the American territory as I go out and figure out. I hope that I can get Jeff Landry to speak to me, because I'll be wearing my U.S. Navy hat and carrying an American flag upside down. But with a Greenland flag over it. So we will have to see whether he deigns to listen to me. But a lot of people I know in media are going to be there, and we know they're all going to be there at least through Friday, because it's impossible to get a hotel room in that place.
Important point, Malcolm.
Yes.
The former U.S. ambassador, Rufus Gifford, is in Nuuk as well.
Is he? Awesome.
Yeah. So link up with him. He's a good guy.
Do you have his contact?
I I can get it.
Okay, well, we'll do an interview with him.
I'll get it.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
I met Mette Frederiksen, not Mette Frederiksen, Vivian Musfeldt, who was the foreign minister last
Yeah.
trip. I got a few minutes with her. She knew who I was. It's like, wow, you're the foreign minister of Greenland. Why do you know my name? And maybe it's because the population of Greenland is 57,000.
Yeah.
And I have over 1.7 million followers on all my social media. So they like to talk to me there. And also they know that I really care about the people of Greenland. I'm not the first African American there. That would be Matthew Henson, the first man to reach the North Pole, who went with Admiral Commodore, then Admiral Perry, from Kanok, which is in the last settled territory of Greenland in the north, heading to the North Pole. So I will be leaving today. I will be arriving tomorrow, 1 hour before showtime. I will have landed in Nuuk, and from my hotel, the HHE, I will be doing this show. And if I can, since I will be on a different high-speed provider, I will give you guys maybe even I'll videotape a walking tour of downtown, because it ain't that big, right?
Nah.
But Jacob, you may find it fascinating. Go ahead. What were you about to say?
Yeah, I would have liked to be there, as you know, and I'm wearing my Ukraine T-shirt today because I have an important Ukraine meeting tomorrow night. It's actually for the Danish-Ukraine Committee, and I couldn't cancel that because it's the annual gathering of the committee.
Mhm.
So and that's still super important. And Ukraine, we won't be talking about that today. So but that's the reason why I can't come. I have to be back, or I'll also have to be here on Saturday. So, but anyway, it'll be good to see you go, Malcolm, and also, of course, hi to our friend Orla Jolson and his friends.
Oh, we'll definitely be crashing Orla's. And I wrote to him, he's the busiest guy in the country. He follows I don't know how he does this day job, but he follows all the politicians around. And, they know him. Last time we were walking, the prime minister Caesar goes, "Hey, Orla." Orla Jolson, if you are not following him on Twitter, it's at OJOELSEN, Orla Jolson, and you can follow him. And he tracks everything that's going on in Greenland and all the politics, he hasn't done an interview with Jeff Landry yet, but I'm sure he's going to, because Landry's not leaving till Friday. I arrive tomorrow. I'll be there at 11 a.m. Nuuk time. And he's going to today is the first day of the Future Greenland Conference. And then it's going to go on. Tomorrow is the second day. And then the 21st. Oh, wait, tomorrow is the second day. Is today Tuesday? Today's the first day.
Today's Tuesday.
Tomorrow's the second day. And Thursday is the defense conference, which I am trying to get to. So
I wrote people messages, but they could be traveling now and stuff.
All right. We'll rustle them up. I actually have photographs of that building.
An important point.
I looked inside.
Just a funny little coincidence here. Now that I mentioned Rufus Gifford, the former U.S. ambassador to Denmark, has gone up there. And also the present U.S. ambassador, as we talked about yesterday, Ken Howery, or as I call him, the little snake. And he also made a post on X, I noticed last night, talking about the fantastic relationship and all that bullshit. And it got 6 likes when I checked last night, and there were about 18 or 20 people abusing him below and posting memes.
Well, I'm going to retweet that because I think it's important that people really understand just how the Greenlanders feel. And to give you a taste of that, this is our friends, Orla Yolson, his friend Anne Marie, and Carlos last year at Old Town with a flag that I gave them to bring to the protest. And it's, again, they're saying Greenland is fuck around, find out country. Did you see that picture?
Yeah. Like I have here.
Yeah. So this is what the Greenlanders really think about him. This is an Old Town at the museum, at the Cultural Museum's boat landing in Nuuk. And they are not allies of the current circumstances. As a matter of fact, this is a great picture of Orla that I know he does. I don't know if he saw, but that's his little baby there. He's such a great guy. He's that picture you have there. Where did you get that one? I didn't see that.
It was posted underneath Ken Howery's post.
Under Ken Howery's post. So Greenland is a fascinating place. And one of the things that I learned about Greenland is that there are 57,000 people with 35,000 guns. And that NATO, no pedo. Yes, NATO, no pedo picture. I am on the trail to find one of those posters there, and that was planted all over Greenland in January. It means yes to NATO, no to pedos. And there's one in Greenlandic in Kalaalleq and the other in English. And by God, I will be finding that picture. I mean, it's just one of those things. I must do it. But what I'm trying to find here is by the way, here's the first soul brother in Greenland. Matthew Henson, who came to Greenland in the 1890s with Commodore Perry. He did not like, nor did Perry, they did not like the village of Gotthaba, which is the original name of Nuuk. He liked it up in the north. They loved up in near Ilulissat in Sisimiut. They didn't like too many missionaries down there for them, and not enough rum and hookers, I guess. So to tell you how there wasn't enough rum and hookers, he has a family in Greenland that are direct descendants of him and his, as they call it, his Inuit wife. Because they would spend up to 2 years trying to get to the North Pole. And yes, he did have a wife back in New York, and so did Commodore Perry, but they all have children from their local Greenlandic wives. I put that in quote, right? So I have met the family, the Henson family. They take his name in Greenland, and the great grandson has his nose. He has an African American nose, no question. And just talking to them was like talking to a history book. I cried. I cried because you're like, oh my God, you guys are like the olden brothers and sisters in Greenland. So, but it was a real education. I loved every minute that I was in Greenland. In fact, this is a picture of me in Sisimiut. When our ferry arrived.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this was in late April, early May. And all I can tell you is this. I'm going to show you a picture. This is us going out of the harbor in Ilulissat. And that thing's moving. And in case you would like to get a scale for size, that is a power plant in the background. This thing, our ferry is like this big compared to that iceberg that sloughed off of the Ilulissat ice field, which is the exact same place the iceberg that sank the Titanic came from. The Ilulissat ice field in northeastern Greenland. And it was unhealthy big, right? That's me looking at it. And I love Greenland. Oh, this is a better picture. I have a picture where an iceberg starts on one side of the screen, and by the time I'm finished my little rant, it's on the other side of the screen. And they are fast. They're very fast. And these things can sink ships without any question.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. I love going to Greenland. All of my Arctic weather gear is there because I was going to hike from Kaarsbo to Sisimiut this summer. And then I was going to come back in fall for caribou hunting, right? Reindeer, because they're delicious.
Yeah, reindeer.
Yeah, they're delicious. I love my reindeer in Greenland.
Yeah,
and great reindeer snacks, right?
Exactly, the sausages, man.
Yeah. So for those of you, hey, anybody wants to go to Greenland with me, let's arrange a tour. And we all go there and we can eat reindeer and talk smack. They got reindeer burgers. They got, what do they got? Not buffalo, muskox. Muskox is delicious too.
Anyway. Have you had camel burgers?
Definitely. I've had camel at a wedding. So, and boy, they love that camel. Camel burgers, it has no fat on it whatsoever. They have like 1% body fat. If it's not in the hump, it is not in the muscles in that country. So I'm trying to find the picture that Orla and I took of that building in Nuuk. And here it is. I looked inside. It's the picture
occupation headquarters.
The new occupation headquarters. And this is the building.
Yeah.
Now, they don't have the entire building. These floors here going up, that's an apartment complex called the Aurora Apartments. And you enter on the other side. But all of this, first floor, second floor, and the underground car park belong to the American consulate. To give you an idea of size, over here, that's like the Hans Ilja Hotel. And here's an inside shot of the front entrance. That area, that's the reception area, that's about the size of the entire old U.S. consulate. So whatever they have planned,
Doesn't the United States usually prefer to have their foreign governmental buildings separate and not connected to any other buildings, especially that there is an apartment building connected to it, especially coming from Saudi Arabia? I know how isolated government like U.S. embassies and consulates are. I'm quite surprised it's connected to an apartment building.
Yeah, well, they'll probably lease all that out too for staff of the occupation government, right?
Yeah.
That's what the locals call it. Here's a picture of me throwing up gang signs in front of the original consulate. That's half the building right there in that photograph. One window, the bathroom, the second window. That's it. That's it. That's the one that's currently occupied by a staff of 3.
Yeah. And that's what all our viewers should remember, that Greenland is
the whole
57,000 people. And of those, 18,000 are in Nuuk, the capital. So, I mean, having that size of a consulate that you're showing now is fine. But the largest building in the town of Nuuk is it's crazy, and it shows you what they want to do.
Yeah, you say, Malcolm, again, you say they will probably lease it out to U.S. citizens. Again, we only have one person who is a U.S. citizen there representing the United States. It is a security risk having that apartment building connected to the U.S. consulate.
The Marines and the special forces that intend to invade need to go somewhere. They're not going to pay. They're not going to be paying $350 a night at the Hans Ilja Hotel. No, they need their own place. That's exactly what that building was designed for. So, okay, that being said, we will come back to Greenland. Let's go back to the regular news. Watch, can you show us the oil prices? Because there's not actually a lot going on, but there is a lot going on worldwide that I think people need to know about.
Well, did you hear about the conversations between Trump and the GCC?
Yeah, I have all of that under significant activities. We're starting with
Yeah,
oil,
perfect.
relatively stable. Brent North Sea crude is up though. $1. Wait, 11. How is it down $1? Was it at 111 yesterday?
it was because it
Okay.
went up last night, and then the statement came out and it dropped slightly.
Oh, yeah.
But it's only like
statement.
1%. Yeah, 1% drop.
Let's go. We are going to take a deep look at that statement. So, under significant activities, once again, yesterday, in an advance, President Trump announced that today would be Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday is undefeated. Undefeated every time that we have asked that there was
And
going to be a significant activity on Tuesday, President Trump.
It's big Mexican night.
Taco Nacho Tuesday.
It's
If it's
huge
Taco
Mexican
Tuesday,
night.
it's always nacho. So, as you know, taco stands for Trump always chickens out. And he announced yesterday in a tweet that he had chickened out from carrying out what was supposed to be imminent airstrikes against Iran, restarting the war, which we all had been predicting for some time was not what he was going to do. It was what Israel was demanding that he do. And you don't have to believe me. Sorry. Believe Israel's channel 20, right? Or channel 12. Sorry, guys. I just got to bang out of a call. Somebody's calling me. But Israel's channel 12 said a week ago that Netanyahu was pushing Trump to resume airstrikes and that they wanted them immediately after his China trip. So Donald Trump, in his infinite wisdom, decided to explain to the whole world, let me pull that tweet up, that he wasn't going to do it. Not because he didn't want to do it, because he was going to do it. All right. Jacob, do you have the tweet?
Yeah.
I have to sign back into X. Okay.
No, I've got it. 1 sec. I can get it up here. Oops. I had it.
Twitter kicked me out.
Here we no.
While you're looking that up, the details, I will explain what the tweet is. Trump explained that he was canceling or suspending,
There we have it.
Pausing. Can you read that to us?
Yes, indeed I can. I have been asked by the Emir of Qatar, Tamim bin Al Thani, and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, and the President of the UAE, Sayed, blah, 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 to hold off on our planned military attack of the Islamic Republic of Iran, which was scheduled for tomorrow. In that series, which was scheduled for tomorrow, in that serious negotiations are now taking place, and that, in their opinion, as great leaders and allies, a deal will be made, which will be very acceptable to the United States of America, as well as all countries in the Middle East and beyond. This deal will include, importantly, no nuclear weapons for Iran. Based on my respect for the above-mentioned leaders, I have instructed Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, and the United States military, that we will not be doing the scheduled attack of Iran tomorrow, but have further instructed them to be prepared to go forward with a full, large-scale assault of Iran on a moment's notice in the event that an acceptable deal is not reached. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald Trump.
Who
I
convinced
like the way
him
he
that
shouts at
Iran
people
has
in
a
all of his
nuclear
tweets.
weapon?
He's convinced himself. Between him and Netanyahu, he has convinced himself. Okay, so airstrikes not canceled, pause,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
For Taco Tuesday, which leads to Nacho Every Day. That could be almost a
Nacho.
t-shirt. The Not a Chance Hormuz Opens. That's what Nacho stands for.
With lots of
Not,
cheese. With lots of
not a
cheese, man.
chance Hormuz opens.
And lots of
That
cheese on the nachos.
Yeah. That being said, that leads us to the activity du jour, which is since Nacho is the prevailing wind coming out of the White House, JP Morgan, via an article in Fortune magazine, warns that we have 1 month. And they didn't actually say 1 month. They said 1 month, but they are estimating June 1st until, quote, an economic moment of truth. Not healthy. And hold on, I will explain to you what exactly that entailed because I have that article. I have no idea why everything's jumping around today. I have that article which was posted about the moment of truth in Forbes magazine. And all I need to do is everything is like delayed.
While you find it, Malcolm, I can add that the International Energy Agency has also been warning about the same thing and saying this will end up really badly in a matter of a few weeks or months. Because all the storage levels are way down, and we've been, trying to compromise the impact of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and it's likely to end soon because all the storage is way down. So, and they did that at a G7 finance ministers meeting in Paris, I gather. Yeah, not
I
good.
agree with you. Additionally, so you found it? Okay.
Yeah. It says oil markets may be a month away from a moment of truth. I'll let you read it with me. Brace for a non-linear price spike and panic buying, analyst warns. Right? So, as fun as that is, the author is Jacob Ma. It says dire warnings about oil supplies are coming from everywhere. Lately, as the Strait of Hormuz remains largely closed, while President Donald Trump's trip to China failed to produce a breakthrough to reopen the critical waterway, investors have been trading on hopes that an Iran ceasefire will remain intact. There is little sign that an oil trade will return to normal. JP Morgan predicted that commercial oil inventories in the developed world could approach operational stress levels by early June. We talked about that. And then the next one is emptying bottom of tanks, right? So the IAE, the International Energy Association, warned the world is drawing down oil inventories at a record pace with 164 million barrels released by governments and industries as of May 8th. Rapidly shrinking buffers amid continued disruptions may herald future price spikes ahead. In other words, it's going to get very bad. Very bad. Very fast.
Let me add. So most of the world has few 100,000 to few million of barrels of oil reserve left. That's what is like basically few months, 1 month means.
Right.
China, that has billions of oils of reserve, right? That has been preparing for a situation like this. The oil would last 4 months. A country that has billions of oils in reserve. that has been saving for a situation like this, it would only last 4 to 6 months. Nevertheless, the situation that the rest of the globe is in. So, just to put things into perspective, right? The whole
Mhm.
Southeast China Sea is already an emergency crisis. They have all
Right.
implemented emergency measures inside their nation. Malaysia have cut their hours of work. Korea has cut their hours of work. The rest of the world is following. We have several. Africa has the Ebola outbreak, and they have to deal with the hunger situation with not having fertilizers. So much is adding up to the situation where I only see like a collapse of a global economy.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
we are headed that way. So, what do you think, Jake?
I think we've been warning about this for a couple of months, so we're not shocked at what's happening. It's just been shocking to see that the markets, the banks, and whatever haven't seen this coming, haven't listened, having been fooled by all this nonsense and manipulation that's going on. Yeah,
Usually when I left the intelligence community and I became a private intelligence contractor, one of the things was that people were coming to me for were, how can I put it, intelligence assessments of the geopolitical state of the world in order for them to make business decisions. And that's
yeah,
called business intelligence. And I think you do a lot of that, right?
yeah,
To where they want to know what's coming down the pike. When would it generally occur? What should I be looking for so that I make really good economic or investment decisions? I don't see that anymore.
no,
Like Wall Street's like, I don't care what happens. So
yeah,
long as Donald Trump says it, we're
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Real analysts have got to be pulling their hair out
yeah,
because good geopolitical business intelligence. If I'm telling you, if you were to watch our show every day and invest on the basis of the crazy shit that we'd have, you'd be a millionaire because we tell you when Trump's about to taco and we tell
yeah,
you when he's about to, manipulate the market. So you need to jump right in. But ours is based on intelligence, not on insider information. We can see these trends. Good geopolitical analysts, good energy analysts should be freaking out right now.
yeah,
And I'm sorry, you as the audience, you should be sort of freaking out a little bit too, right? Because
yeah,
all of this will rock your world. And, I think that's why we have such a big following. We get about 1,500 to 2,000 people per day because people understand that if they hear something today, it could really affect their families tomorrow, especially with shooting or things like that. Oof. That being said, hey, listen, if you want to ask questions, I am not getting the scroll this morning for some strange reason. Go to Black Man Spy chat. There is a chat thread for day 83. Place your questions there, including your questions about Greenland. I'll be answering them throughout the day. If you saw yesterday, I took a vote to see if I should go to Greenland. 600 double thumbs up replies. Right now, like, okay, the audience is spoken. So, and they want to hear interviews. They want to see live streams. We're gonna go find the former ambassador, and we're gonna go find,
yeah.
I think I can get to the prime minister this time. I didn't get to him last time because he
Okay.
flew out of the country to meet with
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah,
Emmanuel Macron guy.
yeah. And that's upsetting, isn't it? That's upsetting.
Doesn't he know I'm on a tight schedule? But you can see him walking down the street to go get a coffee. I mean, the
Yeah,
downtown's this big.
yeah,
There's only
yeah.
a couple of places he's going.
But
You know where I know he's going? He's going to get caribou snacks over
yeah,
at the Buscemi.
but the thing is, on a normal day, when everything is chill in Nuuk, he would be doing that. But when we are there and things flash up, all the world wants to talk to him. So that's basically the problem.
Oh, who did we see him with last time? It was the Prime Minister of Denmark, right?
Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah, that was
When they
Mette
just walked,
Frederiksen. Yeah,
the
they was.
Fredrickson, they just walked by and like,
Yeah.
yo. But he turned around, looked at me, and he goes, "I know that soul, brother. I've seen you on Danish and Greenlandic television. There's only one black guy in the town." That's not true. There are three. Three, two of them. Three of them work over at the Hans Ilya, and they're the nicest people. Two guys and a woman, and they are from Uganda. And then there's that black Tino guy who works at the gun shop down near the port, near the ferry landing. So I know them all. We all.
Yeah. But Malcolm, what else on the Gulf? I have one thing on the Gulf I think is really important. It was what you brought up yesterday, Wajeeh, because that's been confirmed with the Pakistani military assistance for Saudi Arabia. The 8,000 forces and Air Force detachment. But again, it just shows you the kind of trouble that the Saudis and the rest of the Gulf monarchies find themselves in. You know, when you ask Pakistan for military assistance, and you start talking about the Pakistani nuclear umbrella. It's not been too long when Iran and Pakistan were actually shooting at each other. So that's how much that's worth. So it's really, really mad to see what's happening. They're sending Chinese fighter planes to Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, the Iranian are targeting the Gulf monarchies based on Chinese intelligence and Chinese tech, etc., etc. So that's crazy.
And in the same time, as China is selling the same tech to Saudi Arabia and Pakistan.
Here real quick because my headphones went down. But I do have a comment to make that Jacob about Greenland, because the New York Times reported something I did not know, but that you and I both predicted last year, that the three places that the Americans would pay close attention to would be the major airport in Kaarsbo, which is where the U.S. Air Force flies from, nearby, west of Albany, out of Schenectady. They fly the ski planes there, and there are generally 2 to 3 of those ski planes there. That's the airport that the Danish Special Forces set up in to be prepared for Americans doing a parachute jump to seize the runway, and the Danes were going to blow up the runway. That's what we found out they were prepared to do in January. But I also said they would need to take either Ilulissat, but Ilulissat was being repaired. And I wrote in my Substack last year they would need to take Narsarsuaq in the south near Katortuk. And the reason that they would need to take that is the southernmost point to the United States. And in World War II, they would fly airplanes up to that airport, and then they would refuel and fly up to Kangerlussuaq or Sisimiut or Ilulissat or way on to Thule in the north, which is another 1,500 miles. But I said, I did my assessment when I went out on the ferry, when I was estimating the ice, what kind of amphibious forces the U.S. would need and where they would use them. And I said the place they're going to go to is Katortuk in the south, because it turns out that harbor's generally ice-free. And Narsarsuaq Airport is there. That's the abandoned... The airport's there, but they have a lot of abandoned material left from the Cold War and World War II that's just sitting out in the open, trucks and oil barrels and everything. The New York Times reported the Marines secretly sent a Marine captain to Narsarsuaq to assess its viability, ... for a future seizure by a Marine amphibious force. Exactly as I predicted.
Yeah.
I ain't saying that's an easy prediction. All right, that ain't a hard prediction. But that they did it.
Yeah.
And it was probably the defense attaché from Denmark or, was facilitated by that. They didn't say who or where.
No, but I think they probably figured all that out, and they've been keeping close tabs on it. You met the commander of the the Arctic Command in Nuuk, and he's a fox. So I'd say they've been keeping a close watch on all those things, and they're ready to blow it all up if need be. Where did Malcolm go now? He switched to Greenland, then he's gone again. There he is. There he is.
Okay, I got you. So
Yeah.
I can't hear you very well, Wajeeh. Wajeeh, I would like you to talk about. Okay.
At Arctic Command,
I'll get my speaker back
think
on.
they got
Wajeeh,
it.
would you like to?
Yes.
Would you like to talk about the shooting in San Diego at the mosque?
Yes, my deepest condolences to the Muslim community in San Diego. The shooting in the United States has been targeting minority communities across the U.S., whether it's the Muslim community, whether it's the Jewish community, or any community of color, or any immigrant community. I had my own encounterment of domestic violence against the Muslim community when I was in Manhattan, Kansas, where our mosque was vandalized. Thankfully, no shooting or no one got hurt. And in the same year, the mosque in Topeka, Kansas was set on fire, and different mosques were being set on fire. The Trump administration has made the situation very dangerous for almost all citizens, and has made it very toxic, and has made it in a way where people feel like they need to attack one another in order to feel like they could get their country back. This is a country of immigrants since the day it started. This is a country of uh, where people from different backgrounds find what unites them together and brings them together in order to make a one great nation. I hope that we can come to an end with this gun violence, and I hope that this administration does something, which I know they won't do anything about it. I'm That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Yeah. I find it fascinating that Fox News immediately came out and assessed that it's possible this was an Iranian attack because that mosque would be Sunni Muslims. And they also associated that mosque with the 9/11 hijackers. So immediately came out and made it a Muslim terrorist thing, when in fact it was two white kids who were right-wing extremists who went there to mass murder Muslims. And they were incels. The exact Anders Bering Breivik thing. They wrote things on their rifles, right? That is classic right-wing, involuntary celibate, incel extremism that they have. So, but sure enough, the right wing came out and tried to blame the Muslims themselves for getting shot. And I don't know if you saw the photograph of the security guard. This guy was loved in the community, and he was armed, but the kids walked right up and shot him right in the head. First shot, right? Nothing you could do. They shot two people in the at the entryway. And fortunately, they had, because of the synagogue attacks, and other mosque attacks, they had a lockdown procedure, the whole building locked, right? And they couldn't get any further. So these two crazy right-wing, groypers went back to their car and then shot themselves. And to be quite honest, I'm surprised at that because invariably, right-wing incels always walk up to the cops and surrender and get McDonald's, right? So in this circumstance, the mother had seen that the kid stole a weapon, stole her car, and left a suicide note. And that's how the cops were actually searching through San Diego. They were going to elementary schools because they thought he was going to do a mass shooting at a school. They had been looking for him for 2 hours. 2 hours. Halas. Okay, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That is the only thing I have left to report on is that Israel, a billionaire executive jet, flew from Tel Aviv to Abu Dhabi again yesterday. The jet
Mashallah.
belongs to a very well-known Israeli billionaire, but it has been associated with meetings by the director of the Mossad. So it's possible that the Israelis came to coordinate with the Emiratis again yesterday in relation to this war. I don't know. Maybe they wanted them to hurry up and get involved in the war so that Trump would have a reason to do it. What do you guys think?
That could well be the explanation.
The Gulf states have been engaged in a lot of talks in the last 24, 48 hours in particular, especially with Trump getting close to his timeline of wanting to hit back the Iranian territories. So I could only imagine what kind of talks the United Arab Emirates would like to have with Israel, including, could you send us this? Could you send us that? We need this type of air defense missile. They have been focused on strengthening their relationship with Israel rather than strengthening the relationship with other close allies in the region, which has been making them more of a target. So the Gulf states we mentioned earlier asked the Trump administration not to get into this war. So it just gives us a little bit more details about what's happening in the background rather than an answer.
All right. Okay, hey, listen, let's go to questions real quick because I know we want to try to get out on time today. And I'll ask you guys these questions. Just give me a thumbs up when you're done. I'm having a speaker problem. I can hear you, but it's very, very, very weak. Okay.
Okay.
Jacob, from Michael Madsen, what's the energy situation in Europe?
Actually, here in Europe, we haven't seen like a large scale impact. I don't know exactly how it's handled with reserves and stuff like that. I think we will be hit quite hard come this summer because, to my knowledge, we don't have a place where we can offset the impact. So I'd say get an electric vehicle and make sure you plan your summer vacation as a driving vacation and not go flying. I think that'll be my 50 cents.
Okay. Hey,
Or grab a train.
Next question was from Teresa Sylvia. Did you see that NATO shot down a drone over Estonia? It was a Russian drone that was probably sent to attack Ukraine and got off course. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it could be one of those decoys. I haven't seen yet what exactly it was, other than it was a Russian drone shot down by NATO air policing. But it could be one of those those decoys they sent into Poland. And we've also seen Russian drones crash in Latvia these last couple of weeks. So, but finally, the European NATO countries are doing something and showing Russia that we'll just basically shoot it down, which is good.
All right. One question here from Alan Stewart. I'm due to fly back to Oman via Dubai on May 30th. Do you think the war will have started again by then and Dubai airport will be open? Now, don't ever let Donald Trump or the Iranians be your travel agent. That's what I said. If you're going to fly, go fly. The probability of anything involving you is very low, maybe 1 to 5%. But we could text you and you could tell us an exciting time if something's going on.
Make sure to buy some Omani frankincense. Make sure to buy a dagger from there. And get some oil fragrances, because their oil fragrances made out of their mountain roses are to die for.
Okay.
Yeah. And what you can do, as
most of the questions,
citizen,
I'm going to be answering these questions on the Substack. Yes, Jacob,
he can't hear a thing.
You can't hear me?
So what you can also do is plan your trip, so you don't necessarily go through Dubai, if that's possible, or Doha, and so on. So, you can be practical when you plan something.
Well, he's going to Oman.
Yeah, exactly. Then go another route.
He'll be taking a bus over through Corsican.
Yeah, go via Addis Ababa in Ethiopia or something.
His big problem is going to be the lack of air conditioning.
Yeah,
it's hot right now. It's hot right
it's stinking
now.
Hot.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Listen, we made it almost to the proper time. I'm going to be answering most of your on-topic questions on the Substack Live. I will be back tomorrow, this time from Nuuk, Greenland. We'll arrange it as usual. Hopefully I can get some guests. I can get Orla and some other people to come on. Watch out. I will be scheduling. Some will be paid subscribers. Most will be free. I want most people to see what's going on in Greenland. I don't want to limit it to paid subscribers. But if I decide to have a drinky salon, I may make that just for paid subscribers only. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you already missed this show. All right. But watch it, enjoy it, learn something from it. Please come over to Substack and go to malcolmnance.substack.com and subscribe for free. Same thing with Jacob Kaarsbo, same thing with Wajeeh. Subscribe for free. They put out a lot of data and it doesn't cost you anything. And you don't have to listen to it every day. But when you see these schedules and you see their email reports, a lot of this stuff affects your life. So please join us there. I will see you all in Greenland tomorrow. Yes, Jacob.
And I'll be having a Greenland special Q&A tonight at 8 Central European time for paid subscribers. So if you want to join, please join. That's 2 p.m. Eastern.
It's 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, exactly. So that's on Greenland.
I'm going to be on that one. I'll come watch that one. I might need some answers. All right.
You ask me
everybody,
tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
See ya.